this amazing, fun thing we're going to do, talk about chart of Selena Gomez. Caitriona is so good with celebrities. I'm so honored and happy to have her today here. She's my peer student with Matt. So we really bonded and grew this friendship between ourselves. So I'm so happy that she was able to join us today. Excellent. So do you want to start? Please pick your favorite chart.
I have Selena's chart here, but I suppose the easiest thing to do would be to talk through it, and I can share it afterwards. I was hoping we'd be able to share it because I'm so used to pointing in my video.
I know.
Hi, Matt.
I know you're.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Matt. They're so beautiful. Everybody's supporting
I did a little tease of Selena's chart over on TikTok, and it went down well. So yeah, I'm excited.
Brilliant.
I might start off, Jasmina, with looking at the chart angles, and then looking at the placements, and then at the end more of the aspects, because that's the order in which I learned astrology.
Okay, no problem. Please go ahead. Try it. I'll pinch in.
Yeah, and we have the same chart anyway, but Selena is a Leo rising, so she's super magnetic, and she lights up every room she enters, and even when she's not trying to get attention, she gets attention. But her chart ruler, the sun, is in the 12th house, so that's why I feel she's got such a karmic chart, because the 12th house rules karma, and when her sun is there, it's lighting up that house. And I think at heart, even though she is like a global superstar, at heart I feel like Selena is a really private person with sun in the 12th house.
Yes.
And
yes, that is true. Yeah.
Time alone is really nourishing for her, and her sun is in Cancer, so like sometimes she is known for like taking a hiatus from social media, where she just disappears off.
She needs that time. Yes, yeah, I agree completely that people with sun in the 12th do need that time alone.
Yeah.
To kind of regain energy so they can move forward, right?
Yeah, and with
but she's very fiery. She has, as I see, she has lots of fire. Very motivated, very ambitious.
And with her sun in the 12th house, like I definitely feel it's a challenging placement in terms of mental health. And she's been really vocal about her mental health in the last few years. And I do feel that part of her soul purpose with her chart ruler in the 12th house and her sun here is to shine a light on mental health issues. And her documentary, My Mind and Me, is all about her struggle with anxiety and depression.
I was going to add to this something. She has Chiron conjunct Mercury, which is also about being like thinking, especially when you're young, that you don't have a mental capacity. So you're doubting your own mental capacities. So the struggle of mental health is shown there. But I also feel with her, with other placements, with years, with age, as she gets older, she can actually help others with the mental problem, because she can, heal herself and others through that, right? So she can just get stronger and be more vocal about it. And, I think that's
and she just got through her Saturn return, so she's just kind of come of age, and she has done all of this advocacy work around mental health, which is really on brand for someone with their sun in the 12th house. But if we look at her first house, where she's all this Leo fire energy, she's got like her Venus conjunct her ascendant. So yeah, she's very beautiful and charming, and really, I suppose she's famous for her beauty as well as her voice. She's got like Venus, Chiron there in the middle of Venus.
Yes.
And Mercury.
That same Venus is ruling her midheaven, which is, the public persona, how she presents. So Venus being on the ascendant, who she is, it is shown to the public. So her beauty and the way she presents herself is very public, and I like that. Yeah. I think she's doing the right thing. I think she chose the perfect career, and the way she helps people.
She was destined to be famous. Like her chart has so many fame indicators. With her Venus conjunct Chiron, and with Chiron, well, if I just look at Chiron in isolation, Chiron in the first house could definitely cause body issues, like, body dysmorphia. And she's talked about that, about, her weight fluctuating and her figure, and not loving her body and making peace with that. And as a Cancerian, I think Cancerians anyway, when we're ruled by the moon, our weight goes up and down. So we have to kind of, flow with that. We can't fight it. And with her Chiron conjunct Venus in the first house of her identity. Like there's definitely been pain and wounding from romantic relationships. Like that's been a big thing in her life and has affected her self-esteem for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't help that she has Saturn the 7th. So kind of
Yeah.
restrictions on the relationship.
I haven't even got to that angle yet. She's got really chart romantically.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, her song, Lose You to Love Me. And Matt will agree with me here. Like this has got to be a Venus conjunct Chiron in the first house anthem. Venus conjunct Chiron, lose you to love me. Like that is Venus conjunct Chiron. Literally, she had to go through loss to learn to love herself, and it's all in her first house. And she's got what's that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking about Saturn also opposing all of that. The Venus and the Chiron and Mercury.
So much struggle for her.
Yes, so it is pulling her into things, into sides. Like she wants to go, she wants to, you know, kind of be out there and shine, and then this Saturn is, you know, telling her, you know, no, yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
she's doing great.
Seeing some of the comments here, Passion Astrologist says, I have the sun in the 12th house. I like my privacy. Definitely, you love privacy with sun in the 12th house. It's so nourishing for you.
And you need it. Not only you need it to be healthy, right? Yeah. So that's
and it's actually a source of strength because not many people are comfortable being alone. But sun in the 12th house, you know, you will get quite comfortable with solitude and aloneness because that's where you light up, you know, when you're on your own. I just looking at her first house again, she's got Mercury at like 17 degrees, which is a famed degree. I'm obsessed with that degree because my Venus and my Chiron is at 17 degrees. Leo, so her Mercury is conjunct my Venus, which I love. I love that.
Oh wow, I like that. You two would be great friends.
Yeah, we get on so well, Selena and I, and we're both Cancer suns as well. But she is famous for her voice, Mercury. You know, it's at Leo as well, and her sense of expression. She's famous for acting. And I know Matt taught us that amazing thing about the orbs. So like the Venus Mercury conjunction, it's a 7-degree orb.
Yes.
So even though she does not want to be famous for her relationships, 7th house, 7th-degree orb, 7th house, are going to make her more famous and enhance her fame and how notorious she is, even though this isn't something she wants. And Saturn is making hard aspects. Saturn is opposing all of those, her Venus. And
it's probably going to be delayed. Yeah, it's probably going to be delayed in her life. You know, the real relationship she will actually be comfortable in. But I feel it's going to be very strong relationship when she comes to it in the long term.
It will be definitely a really long, lifelong relationship. And actually, I don't want to go into transits yet, but Pluto is entering her 7th house, so she's in for some transformations in her relationships. But
I would say when you... Yeah, I know. You're going all over the place, but that's okay. I think if you can, anybody, if you have any questions, you want to interrupt us, or you can follow us, let us know.
Hi,
because we are jumping all over. Hi, everybody. We're jumping all over the place. Regarding fame, she has North Node at 0-degree Capricorn, which is 0-degree Cardinal, which is the world point. So that's why it also indicates that her purpose is like she's going to be famous.
I have her North Node in Leo. Are we both on the same thing? Hang on.
North Node in Capricorn in the 5th.
Sagittarius.
Sorry?
Sagittarius. I have her North Node in Sagittarius.
I have 0 Capricorn.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. I better make sure we have the same charts as me.
It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe it's 20 degrees or 0. That's strong point.
Yeah,
anyway.
So I have anyway, when I was looking at her North Node, well, actually, do you know what? Before we go look at her, can we go through the houses in order? I'm going to be a real...
Yes, go please. Yeah, go please. You're a teacher here. You're a teacher here. Because you're a teacher in real life, I know, and you really are teaching astrology, you know, so everybody can understand. I'm a Gemini. I jump all over the place.
I wish I had the chart. I'm going to figure out how to put the chart as a green screen eventually. Maybe if I'm hosting live, I can do it. But Jupiter is in the 2nd house. If we just look at that without any of the aspects to it, like, it's at a karmic debt degree. It's at 13 degrees. And I think that's so interesting because, like, obviously she's so wealthy the older she has got and more success she's had. but like she's definitely going to use her wealth to help people who are less fortunate. Now I'm sure she already does some of that work.
With the sun in the 12th, she is helping others. Like that's what she wants to do it. She wants to care for the people who are less fortunate. That's who she is. Like that's what she is. But the same Jupiter is actually trining her Uranus and Neptune conjunction. So
and they're all
Neptune is artistic expression, right?
Yeah.
It's emphasized, and Jupiter, so it's beautiful, beautiful for her career.
Orb between her Venus and her Neptune and her Uranus has a 2-degree orb, that conjunction. So it's more second house wealth from all of her creativity. And then if we look at her, will we be really bold and go over to the other angle? I should have done the angles. Let's look at her descendant.
Okay, go.
She's got her.
You lead the way.
So her descendant is like the shadow side, you know, of her. Like it's basically the side she might not be as aware of, what she's attracted to, what she's looking for in a partner. She's got it in Aquarius. And I nearly got into a TikTok pylon because I said that Justin Bieber was an Aquarius. He's not, he's a Pisces. But he has his Mars in Aquarius. Okay, so Selena has her descendant in Aquarius. And Justin Bieber's Mars is at 25 degrees Aquarius, and her Black Moon Lilith is at 20 degrees. So there was a 5-degree orb. So he came into her life and there was a big, strong attraction there for sure with his Mars in her 7th house. But that 5-degree orb on her Lilith, you know, he would have inspired her to create some of her best songs, you know, 5th house things. And
love
always going to be a lot of conflict.
I love your interpretation.
Yeah, there was a lot of conflict there, I reckon, with his Mars in her 7th house. A lot of attraction and passion, but conflict as well, you know. And that's even before I go into her square and her Lilith. But yeah, so she dated The Weeknd, and he is an Aquarius, which I love.
Wow.
It was following astrology. And rumor has it that she's currently seeing Zayn Malik of One Direction fame.
Wow.
Who she dated in the past.
She had her Saturn return recently, right? So she did pass to adulthood, as we say in astrology. So I think she's more prepared and more ready, actually, and you know, to take some stuff. You know, she learned a lot of things.
She definitely,
I think, and now she's entering a new chapter.
Yeah, and like her Saturn in the 7th house, like Saturn in the 7th house, like I don't like to talk too badly about it because I don't want to scare people who have Saturn in the 7th house, because I know that like Hannah, our friend Hannah, has Saturn in the 7th house and is in a very happy, you know, long-term relationship. But I know an astrologer who's Saturn in the 7th house, and she's single, you know, for most of her life. She's never married, and she does go for older guys with her Saturn in the 7th.
But that's what I was going to say. It can be older partners, or just delayed partnership later in life. It can be many things.
For sure. Yeah. And Georgiana loves Abel from The Weeknd. Yeah, I love The Weeknd too. And I really think Selena broke his heart. But she has really difficult, challenging aspects, you know, so...
you have to kind of you have to work on yourself before you're ready to be with somebody else. You kind of have to know where your place is if you're not 100% sure, right?
Return as well. She met him before her Saturn return, and I think she reconciled with Justin Bieber during her Saturn return, which was very on brand for someone with Saturn return. You know, Saturn.
Yes. So someone is asking, I never understand Selena's relationship with The Weeknd. Why? Can you elaborate that? Well, what do you feel about
Weeknd?
Weeknd
is an Aquarius sun, and when somebody's sun falls in your 7th house, they light up the house of, you know, your intimate relationships and partnerships. So he would have seemed, when she first met him, as like an ideal partner for her. And he would have felt the same way about her, you know. I haven't looked too closely at his aspects or his chart, but there would have been a strong bond there.
We might do part 2 and then look at the synastry. Yeah. Another live.
So there's the conjunction of Black Moon Lilith and Saturn in the 7th house is like 4 degrees of a conjunction there. And I feel that Selena learned really hard lessons around privacy in her relationships and about how she should keep them off of social media. And
Yeah.
it was very
The way Matt taught us, yeah, Matt always taught us that, who has Lilith in the seventh, you can attract jealousy from other people meddling in your relationship. So
yeah.
having that privacy and time to actually be in a relationship without anybody, paparazzi and this and that, it's hard, right? So
Yeah, and actually, she's captioned one of her recent Instagram posts, forever+1, hashtag forever+1. And I was like, that could be a hashtag for someone with Saturn in the seventh house, because they might feel like, I'm going to be forever+1. I've got this hard taskmaster in my house of relationships. But she's not going to be forever alone, but she might feel like that because she was going through her Saturn return.
Regarding feelings, she does have Moon in Aries. I think you have the same. you have similar charts, the two of you.
Totally do Brittany. Brittany's got an amazing chart. She's amazing.
Oh yeah. I would say that Moon also makes her more impatient, and regarding her emotional needs. Oh, I want this. I feel
Definitely.
I need this right now, right? So
definitely. And her Moon is squaring her Neptune, which is another story. But so that's her seventh house. Will we look at her midheaven? Because I just think her midheaven is amazing.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Already. So her midheaven, she's got her midheaven in Taurus. So I feel like that's a very Venus-ruled Venusian midheaven. So it's like a slow, steady, consistent rise to success. And when we think about Taurus, I'm always thinking about the archetypes. So Taurus is the bull. The bull, gets a lot of attention and doesn't even have to move that much. And the bull, once they're at the top, you can't move the bull that easily. It is difficult to move a bull.
She wouldn't change careers very often, I would say. She wouldn't go and do this or that. She's consistent with the way she does it over and over, in the same way.
And before I even looked at her moon, I was like, oh my God, she's got Mars and Taurus in the 10th house. So Mars is the planet of ambition and action, and it's all about what we're passionate about and our work. And she's got it in her 10th house of career and her public life. So it's exalted. It's in the best place it could be, and it's in Taurus. So she is going to be so resilient, so strong. She's not going anywhere. And it's I feel like, the way she is the most followed woman now on Instagram. She's 406 million followers. And there's a lot of people, let's say the Kardashians, for example, that would love that crown of being the most followed woman on Instagram. But Selena is a Leo rising, and Leo rising is all about royalty. She's wearing this crown, and she's Mars and Taurus, Taurus midheaven. You are not.
Plus this Venus on the ascendant is ruling all of that. Is ruling her midheaven, and it's ruling her Mars, and it's right there. It's who she is. Yeah. That Venus is who she is, right? And it's ruling so many things in her life.
The most followed woman on Instagram for a long time. I feel like there's going to be a lot of permanence to that with her Mars and Taurus. I feel like she has got that crown now, and it's no one is going to take it off of her, because I think the bull, once they put their heels in and stay in the ground, it's right, I'm here now, and you can take me on, but you're not going to. And I think, not that Selena, she doesn't even have to post that much. So this is what I love about her. She rarely posts on social media. She rarely posts compared to all of her competitors, but she posts one thing and it will go viral, and she'll get loads of attention, Leo rising attention.
Yes.
Mars and Taurus, she doesn't even have to do that much. And I always say Taurus placements don't have to do that much. You're a bull, you don't have to do that much. Everyone is looking at the bull in the field. Nobody is looking at the...
So we have another request to do Kim's chart as well. You broke up. We have to go. We have to do a Kim's chart as well. So we have so many requests. We're going to do this again. This live is, I think people are loving us, so that's good. Loving this way.
Kim Kardashian is good. Kim Kardashian has actually got a very interesting birth chart as well. I had a look at it before Twitter. I don't know what's her time of birth exact. So her moon, Jasmina, her lovely moon in Aries. I'm not biased.
Yes.
Her fiery moon conjunct her midheaven. Have you noticed that she cries at award ceremonies when she's accepting her speech? And she's been accused of being fake, fake tears, or she's cried performing. That's all real. Her moon is on her midheaven. What she sees, what you get, not put on.
Yeah. I have my moon in the 9th, and that's also putting emotions in your beliefs. So the way she preaches, that's authentic 100%, you know.
So authentic, what you see. She's so genuine and relatable.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the way she's like, I'm following all of the Hailey Selena beef on Twitter, and it's all, you know, a lot of it is made up on Twitter and TikTok, and people have said, oh, Selena is a Cancer sun and Cancer suns are very manipulative, and like I have to come in there now to defend her because I'm a Cancer sun. Like the crab isn't direct, the crab will sidestep conflict, but with Selena's Aries moon, like you best believe when she pops off, she's going to pop off, and then it's squashed. You know, she's going to squash it. Like, and she did that recently. She came on social media and she just said to her fans, look, you know, this thing has been blown out of proportion now. You know, can you all stop sending Hailey Bieber hate or whatever, you know, the issue was. And that's a very Aries moon thing. It's very just...
I was going to ask you, yeah, I was going to ask you about that quarrel. What happened with that? What was that all about?
Well, there was some little innocuous social media things going on, that they thought that Selena posted some photo of her eyebrows. She had done eyebrow lamination. And then they said that, like, Hailey, it was alleged that Hailey and Kylie Jenner put up photos of their eyebrows mocking her after she did it. They denied it, but she was very classy about the whole thing. And then Hailey Bieber and Kylie Jenner lost a load of followers, and everyone followed Selena to support her because her fans are upset.
I do feel she's very genuine. I do feel that she's really wants to help others. Just being vulnerable and open about her struggles, helping others with that. And you know, I wanted to mention something else that I noticed here. Why is she so powerful? You see that Pluto in the 4th house, making a T square. So usually Pluto, just a little digression, I'll let you talk. Pluto in the 4th house usually means are you okay?
Yeah, my phone is
okay?
off the stand. I'm reading the comments while you're talking.
Yeah, so it usually means, you know, secrets in the family or power struggles between parents, or one parent or the other more dominant. And then the person who has the Pluto in the 4th usually takes the middle place, and he needs to kind of go between the parents or make peace at home. So I think she understands the power of Pluto very much, and it's in this T square, so it's really highlighted. So I think her ability to transform through pain and through struggle is high. That's why she can do all this.
That's so true. There's some interference there. Your mic is making a noise, I think. Or is it
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
Fine. Yeah, her Pluto, which is really interesting about her Pluto, Jasmina, it's in an exact square with her Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house. And Pluto is all about obsession. And Lilith is all about the wounded feminine and everything. So, like, you can see why people are obsessed with her romantic relationships, her fans, with this square Pluto and Lilith. And also with Pluto in the 4th house and Lilith in the 7th, and that square, her romantic relationships could have really messed with her mind with Pluto in the 4th house. Because I always think the 4th house is like our inner world, our sanctuary inside of our heads. And Pluto is a lot of chaos. And her mom was a single mom. Dad, you know, the sun in the 12th house, Dad was present when she was born, but then he was not very visible for a lot of her childhood. So Mom raised her.
I was gonna say that the Chiron opposite Saturn usually means absent dad or abandonment by father or something.
She has
like that.
a relationship with her dad now, and Dad has, you know, other children from another relationship, and Selena has, you know, a half sister, I believe, that she, you know, has a really good relationship with, and the sun in her chart is squaring her moon. And the sun, as we all know, can represent dad. The moon can represent mom. And when there's a square, it can sometimes mean when the child was conceived, mom and dad were not on the same page, or there was a bit of disharmony there. And that was certainly the case for Selena, because she's talked about that. So I feel like how it might play out for her now as an adult is that like who she is and how she feels are sometimes like there's a kind of a bit of a conflict there between who she truly is and how she feels.
We have a question. My friend Heather is asking, she's surprised to see she may be dating Zayn now.
Well, it's just a rumor. It's just a rumor. She loves a bad boy. She does, Nora. I think, don't we all? Well, I think she definitely needs someone who's detached with her Aquarius and her ascendant. She needs someone who gives her a bit of freedom. She needs someone who is really authentic and original. It doesn't bother. And actually, with her Venus and Leo, she needs a man with star power. So even if he is not a celebrity, Selena, needs someone who has got that kind of je ne sais quoi about them.
Yeah, she needs to definitely feel independent and have freedom within the relationship. So she has kind of...
And with her Venus conjunct Chiron, she may also need and want someone who has issues. You know, she might feel like, you know, because let's say, you know, we all have issues, and Selena certainly has her own, you know, demons. We can see this in her chart. So like, she might actually be attracted to people who also have demons, you know, because that might feel familiar for her.
I was just thinking Venus is going to be retrograde this summer in Leo, so it's going to be her Venus return and retrograde. So it might bring some people from the past.
Girl summer for Selena.
I feel it might bring some people from the past, and something might happen.
You know, it's amazing you brought that up, because Pluto has left her 6th house of health, and we haven't even looked at her 6th house yet. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Pluto is just going into her 7th house right now. And so she is going to go through massive transformations in her relationship, but she's also definitely going to meet Plutonic boys, okay? And wait for it, guess who's got Pluto on his ascendant?
Which one is it?
Justin has Pluto on his ascendant.
Wow. Okay.
So
that may be something. We don't want to.
So he's younger than her. He's about to go through his Saturn return. So I'm not saying that Justin is going to come back into her life, but I always think Cancer Sun. An astrologer once said this to me, and I thought it was so interesting. A Cancer Sun woman, her love is like the ocean; it draws them back in.
Oh,
I thought that was amazing, because like Selena Gomez, I mean, sorry, I'm not saying, I'm sure he's very happily married. I'm sure he is. But someone Plutonic is coming into her life, and it could be, like, I do think Zayn Malik, I haven't looked at his chart that closely. I know he's got a lot of Virgo in his chart. I do feel, even to look at that boy, he looks Plutonic. Like, his eyes look Plutonic.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
he's got a lot of treatments, I think. So, like, someone, a boy or a guy, a man who's got some Pluto energy is coming in to transform her, and I don't know how that's going to play out, but I think Selena is going to gain a lot of mastery over her relationships with time. And
absolutely, time is playing, you know, a big role in her life. You know, being delayed. You know, she needs to go through something before she gets it. All right. So, okay, tell me more about where do we see why she's so successful regarding music. So where do we see that?
And on the mic, is your mic touching off something again? Sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
Jerome is watching. Hi, Jerome. So why is she so successful? Okay, well, I'll look at her 6th house in a minute. Remind me to go back to that. Okay. Her North Node is in the 5th house. So this is her house of destiny. And the 5th house is Leo's natural house. And in my chart I have in front of me, her North Node is in Sagittarius at 29 degrees. Sagittarius worldwide, Sagittarius, the whole world, global fame. And with her South Node in the 11th house, I really believe South Node in the 11th house, and I know Matt has said this before, is a sign of being famous in a past life. Her South Node's in Gemini, so maybe she was part of a famous, you know, couple or partnership. But in this life, she's meant to be famous, you know, by herself.
For herself. Yeah, for herself.
And
I
feel that, like, you know, the way she takes a hiatus from social media, South Node in the 11th house, social media, even though, like, she's good at it and she knows that she can post one thing and it'll go viral. She, with her South Node in the 11th house, she needs to step away from it at time to time and move towards going back to creating, you know, going back to her North Node. And now that she's acting and singing and writing her music, like, that's so good for her. It's not that she can't do the social media, she can, because she's actually very good at this. She's brought gifts from a past life. She knows how to manage it so well, in the sense that, like, she posted a video a few years ago. It was, I don't know, was it a Coca-Cola? It was her sipping a Coca-Cola or something. It was very like a very casual photo, and it was the most liked photo ever on Instagram, apparently.
No, she's She has influence for sure.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's
And
just what it is. I'm thinking also, 11th house is ruled by Mercury. It's in Gemini, so Mercury is also the first house. So she also, it's her, you know. So she, because she has so many planets in the first, you know, many areas of her life is where she is, where she feels comfortable and who she is. She can actually be herself, you know, in the public eye, around her community as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I see, like, I am going to look at the aspects now in a minute, but I'm still so focused on her planetary placements. Her Neptune,
Go ahead, please.
Her Neptune in her 6th house at 17 degrees, another fame degree planet. Her Mercury's at 17 degrees and her Neptune's at 17 degrees. Like in Capricorn. So like so hardworking, and so artistic, so spiritual, so creative. Like the stuff she creates comes, you know, from a place very deep inside of her, and she's famous for, you know, her music and her writing. And then there's the conjunction with Uranus at 15 degrees. Uranus then, like, she is original in the sense that she doesn't need to follow the crowd, you know, what she creates. Yeah. She's set apart from the others. So
plus individuality and freedom. Also being free to express artistically, you know, to be herself, the way she is. I think so, very important.
Anytime I see 6th house placements, and I don't want to scare anyone with 6th house placements, I don't have any myself personally, I don't have any big planets there, but like anytime I see 6th house placements, I ask the person, have you had any chronic health issues? I always feel like it doesn't mean you're going to be sick your whole life, but you're going to have something you're going to have to manage, whether it's asthma or eczema, or in her case, what's interesting is that her illness came on suddenly, Uranus. It was hard to treat and difficult to diagnose, Neptune. So Neptune made it really difficult to diagnose. She was sick for a very long time, for a number of years. Pluto was in her 6th house.
Yeah. Like Uranus is also mental health. You know, Uranus is also mental health.
Yeah.
So, that's that.
Yeah. Well. And like, she has not had it easy. And I feel like the illness left as suddenly as it arrived.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Uranus for you. He comes as a shock and he leaves as a shock. Like, you never know with him.
Yeah. And like, there is an aspect here with Pluto and her Neptune. Let me just check that. Is there an aspect?
Pluto and...
Or am I... hang on now.
No, it's Pluto. Pluto and Saturn are squaring.
Pluto is sextiling her Neptune. Pluto's sextiling.
Yeah, but it's squaring Saturn.
And
Pluto and Saturn are squaring. Yeah.
Yeah, Pluto and Saturn are squaring.
I think she knows, you know, she's very powerful. And she actually can use that well. With the Saturn, actually, all this squaring, giving her sometimes hard time, but eventually, when she learns how to work with it, it gives her kind of, you know, some kind of boundaries.
With her Pluto in the 4th house, she wants to hide that power. She doesn't want people to see how powerful she is. Like, that's a hidden part of herself. There's like a power surge underneath, you know, under the surface with her. Celine Dion has Pluto in the 6th house. She's so sick. I hope she will get better now with Pluto in her 7th.
Oh, no.
Georgiana. Oh, and she has been unwell. Yeah, she didn't look well. Yeah. So, it's definitely a difficult placement. For any 6th house placements are challenging, you know, in terms of health, for sure, or transits to the 6th house.
Yeah. Her 6th house is ruled by that Saturn, which is opposing Chiron. So it's also regarding her wounds and how she heals it. It's very connected with her.
Yeah. I'm just going to look at some of, I think we've talked about nearly all of her planets now, but like, if we look at some of the aspects, Jasmina, what aspects stood out for you? I think that
first a square between Moon and Sun, but you mentioned that already.
Yeah,
that's absolutely number one, because it's who she is. It's her, you know, her emotional security and who she wants to be. So that's a conflict, you know, kind of not being comfortable with her feelings and who she is all the time, right? Kind of, but you can work with squares, right? Squares are there, so we can work with them and be better. So although it's a struggle, I think with time she will, you know, be able to understand herself.
Her Pluto squaring her Lilith. I also think it's interesting. You know, Lilith is all about the wounded feminine, and Pluto in her 4th house. Her mom was a single mom. You know, like, it's just the way that astrology plays out is so interesting. And like, I'm really fascinated by her Lilith you know, the way it's opposing her, well, Lilith is kind of opposing her Mercury, isn't it? Looking at her Lilith.
The same Mercury squaring Pluto. So that's another thing with the way, you know, transforming through the communication, through the way she has, you know, her mind works. You know, also mental struggles, transforming through that. It shows in many ways in her chart.
I have some similar placements to her because I've got Lilith in my 7th house, and it's like opposing my ascendant. It's not as tight, you know. Selena's, it's like her Lilith is in her 7th house. It's like she's not aware of it, and it's opposing who she is. And like, I'm at this period in my life now where I'm like, I need to try and integrate my Lilith, my shadow side, because I've never wanted to look at it. And I feel like, you know, it's a part of you that's the wounded feminine. It's like, and I was reading up about it, it's like repressed divine feminine, like energy, wounded feminine, and even sexual energy that's repressed, that you don't want to look at, you know, the darker side of yourself as a woman, especially in the 7th house, and that you might actually be attracted to darker people because of your Lilith. And it's about integrating that and bringing awareness around it. And I think Selena,
as you mentioned, any plutonian partner that will come, it can be a very powerful person. It doesn't have to be famous or Scorpio, but it can be very powerful. It can be, you know,
for sure,
person with influence, and you know.
And with Saturn opposing her Mercury, like it definitely wouldn't help her mental health with Saturn opposing her Mercury. And it's a 1-degree orb, so like really affecting her self-esteem as well, her sense of identity and her expression. She might actually find it hard to express herself sometimes, to say, you know, what I want to say.
That's interesting. Maybe in words and conversation she cannot, but when she sings,
yes,
I'm just thinking, you know, when she creates music, she can express herself better. So helping herself heal through artistic expression, through these songs and singing, I think that's very helpful of her job. If she didn't have that, I think it would be much harder for her, right?
You've jolted my memory of a song. She has this song on her last album. It's like, I want a boyfriend, but I keep on hitting dead ends. And I was like, oh my God, that's a Saturn in the 7th house song.
Yeah, I think because of her moon in Aries, she wants it, you know, now. You know how Aries is like, I want it now, right?
Yeah.
I want it all, and I want it now, right? So sometimes, you know, just being able to have ability to understand that she sometimes needs to wait for better quality, right?
And her moon is squaring her Neptune.
Yeah, that is also, you know, not helping understand how she feels. I think, you know, just understanding how she feels in certain situations and what is happening. I think her songs and her artistic, you know, the way, I think that helps her humongously. I think she did a great job pursuing that in her life. You know, it's not easy.
Her makeup range, Jasmina, like with her loaded 1st house, Venus, and conjunct Chiron, she's very relatable for women because she's doing these videos over on TikTok now and Instagram where like she's no makeup on. Now she's a very naturally beautiful woman, but like she is very vocal about the fact that she has gained weight in the last few years and that, you know, she's trying to get comfortable with her body and she's putting on makeup and she's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Am I doing this right? I don't even know how I'm doing my makeup. You know, it's like she's selling her beauty range through a sense of kind of normality and relatability.
She's always going to be about beauty stuff. All these placements in Leo, and with your sense that she is going to be about glamour. It's going to be, you know, I want to look beautiful. I want to, you know,
for sure.
But that's the whole point. You are beautiful as you are.
Yeah.
I love that she's, you know, that she's actually doing that. You know, this is beauty.
Yeah.
This is life. This is beauty. Like, I love it.
She's actually a perfect example of someone like healing themselves because she's talking about her mental health. You know, Sun in the 12th house. She's following her soul purpose. North Node in the 5th house. She's acting. She's singing. She's creating. And you know, Neptune in the 6th house. She's using all of her creativity. Saturn in the 7th house. She's kind of, she talks a lot about, she has a thing up on TikTok now where she's like, somebody, apparently the reason why I don't have a boyfriend is because you actually have to leave the house. And I was like, Sun in the 12th house, I'm Cancer Sun. And she has a cookery show too, actually. I haven't watched her cookery show. And I'm like, this girl, like, is just, you know, she really shows how real astrology is. She's like, she doesn't want to leave the house, so how's she going to meet someone? Just thought it was...
do you want to take a look at her transits and see what do we see that is coming for her? Or
look at her transits maybe, and then we must decide what celebrity we're going to do next, Jasmine.
I think that we already have requests, so we have to do Britney or Kim. There's nothing else to do.
I have nothing against Kim Kardashian, but my South Node is in Libra, so I'm leaning more towards Britney because I know she's a Sagittarius and she's had a lot of karma in her life. And
you are my celebrity astro friend. You choose celebrities. I don't know much about them, to be honest. I'm just following following you on that path.
Gomez came to the top,
or Beyonce. Oh, there we have Beyonce.
Beyonce is another good one. Look, before Selena Gomez, Britney Spears was definitely, you know, an unbelievable, like, she still is a very powerful woman, but she's been through, her transits were awful. So yeah, will we have a look at her transits, see what's happening for her?
Pedro Pascal, look at Georgiana, Keanu Reeves, come on, ladies. Now we have to, we are full until summer. We are full until the end of the summer for our celebrity charts. I love that. I love that you guys love it. So, that's good.
The North Node is in Taurus. It's moving into Aries, isn't it, soon? The North Node...
what I'm seeing, I'm seeing... Venus is going to over her Mars, so that's also some kind of indication of a possible something relationship wise, or some kind of a man coming into her life. It's coming soon, and it's in the 10th house. It's going to be visible for us all.
Yeah.
Right.
And
right.
Venus is moving. Oh yeah, Venus will be in Taurus, and maybe when Venus moves into Cancer, she might have a secret relationship. Eminem, Mara wants Eminem. Eminem's chart. I must find out if we got an accurate birth time for him, because he would be a very interesting person to do a chart reading on.
Yeah.
Well, he's had so much adversity in his early life. He's a Gemini, I think, is he? Am I being...
I don't know.
Definitely
much
strong
about
Gemini
him, to be honest.
chart, all the rapping. So so where the North Node is in Taurus at the moment. Am I right, Jasmine, in saying that? Because I'm very bad with
Yes.
So like she's been on her career.
Yes.
She's been really doing what she's meant to be doing.
Yes. I think a bunch of stuff is activated in her 9th and the 10th house now. So those are public houses. The way she's out there in the world, and the way, I think, also emphasis on her belief system. He's a Libra. Georgiana knows everything. So yeah, so emphasis on just walking her talk. And with her, I think that's very emphasized for her
the
now.
South Node is transiting Scorpio. She's letting go of a lot of past issues. Issues from her childhood. Things maybe have been coming up for her.
Yeah, the transiting Saturn will leave the 7th house. So when the transiting Saturn leaves very soon, like by end of the year, it's going to leave this. Then she's going to be more free for the relationships, right? When the transits go to the 8th house. So I think restrictions may fall, blockages may fall down, and something may happen in that regard as well.
Yeah, for sure, and. Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, the Venus and Leo, it's going to be an amazing summer for all Venus and Leos. Well, we hope. She's definitely going to be visible. She's not going to be able to hide away that much this summer. But Venus and Leo, all eyes are going to be on Selena Gomez this summer. And I think
something will happen. Something will pop up.
She posted a photo of herself in a bikini from a few years ago, as if to say, I'm back. I'm out of my 12th house time.
I'm actually very happy to see that she's doing her chart very well. Some people are not, when you look at it, you say, you have to do this.
She's definitely not stuck in her South Node. As long as she doesn't get embroiled in social media beef, and she doesn't. She's very classy. Like somebody mentioned it there back in the comments, that she holds herself so well. It's so true. She does.
Gracefully. Somebody said gracefully. I like that word. Yeah. She's with all this.
I mean,
all this Leo.
She's so Venusian and she's so Leo. Yeah, she's very graceful.
I always think about, those divas from the early Hollywood ages,
Yeah.
those actresses, Ava Gardner or something like that. That's how I see her, very
Very.
graceful, very, but helping others with that, again, Sun in the 12th, I think she really wants to help others,
Yeah.
and care for others.
29 degrees of Cancer too. So like I always think, 29 degrees for her sun, it's pretty spiritually evolved,
Yeah. It's the last degree. They're very
Oh,
high, right? They're very more powerful than.
one more thing. The last thing I'm definitely going to talk about this. So her ascendant, and
Okay.
descendant are at 8 degrees. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
8 degrees.
Yes.
I know this is a scorpionic degree, and it means you go through a lot of transformations and a lot of plutonic energy. I know this because my son is at 8 degrees Cancer, and she'll be unrecognizable to people at different phases of her life, and her relationships too will go through transformations, which I love for her, because I feel like she's had a lot of painful lessons in relationships.
Since Pluto came, so Pluto digressing, ingressing into Aquarius in the next 10 years, it will oppose all of this first house placement. So in 10 years' time, it's going to be again another transformation, another Selena that we don't even know. But I don't think even she knows what's happening. It's going to happen. It's going to be another transformation
For sure.
of who she is. Yeah, in 10 years' time, I'm absolutely sure. And then that same Pluto is going to hit her Saturn. I think we're going to be surprised of the new Selena that is coming in the future. She's going to
and that
really.
So is going to square her moon, and I hope, like, I think Selena would be an incredible mom, if it ever happened for her. But I think she would be amazing, and I think Pluto. I know people are afraid of Pluto, but I have Pluto in the 10th house. I kind of like my Pluto.
I like my Pluto in the first.
So funny.
I like it.
It's so funny. Like, sometimes people have said to me, and I know this is live, and this is possibly going to be on YouTube, like, so and so is afraid of you, at work, and I'd be like, what? Like, I've got Pluto in the 10th house. Of course they're afraid of me.
That's good. If you have a sense,
trying to be scary, it's like they can sense the plutonic energy wherever you have Pluto in your birth chart. You mightn't be aware that you're giving off, bad bitch vibes, but you're giving off good vibes, whatever it is. So like, and she's got Pluto in her 4th house, so I feel like motherhood would transform her.
That's what I'm going to say. And with all this Leo placement, she would be a great parent, right? Because,
Node in the 5th house.
It is that
4th node in the 5th house. Oh.
Yeah. I do feel that she would be so caring and like childhood and playful with, and
something she
very, very nice
too, with her North Node in the 5th house. Even if she just becomes a dog mom like Jennifer Aniston, like, I think she would be amazing, Selena. But yeah, I love her. I think her chart, I just think, I know she's an incredibly successful person, and she's so much, she has everything. But I feel like her chart is so karmic. She's been through a lot of adversity. She's a lot of really challenging placements, which makes her so relatable. Because sometimes I look at my chart and I'm like, oh, her placements are so bad.
No, we are all, you can't escape your chart. I'm just happy that I'm glad to see that she's actually living her chart in a good way, right? So she's taking the decision and path. I have my struggles, but I'm gonna help others with that and help myself, and I love that about her chart. I think she's doing a great job. I think she did the right thing for herself with this artistic expression as well. And I wish her a really, really successful life. And I want to see her as a mother now. Now I'm really curious. I would really like to see her if she decides to be a mother.
Like, with her midheaven in Taurus, I feel like somebody mentioned this, actually. I was doing some research on her chart, and I was looking up midheaven in Taurus, IC and Scorpio. And they were saying, like, the midheaven in Taurus, in order to feel secure, they will accumulate a load of things and success and power and all the rest of it, because their childhood, they had adversity, they might have had poverty, and I'm sure Selena did. She was working from a very young age. And it's like, even though they achieve all these, worldly things and gain all this status, they still need to go back and address their childhood issues. That's part of their purpose. And, and that throughout her life, she's going to have to go back and do the work, on, you know, all of those things that are coming up for her. I'm sure they're coming up for her now with the South Node there. But I just have no doubt that she's going to go from strength to strength.
Do we know that is she preparing a new album or songs or what's happening on that? Do you know?
I hope she's not going to be like Rihanna and keep us waiting for her.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
I briefly looked at Rihanna's chart before, and I just think Selena's chart is so much more challenging. You know the way you look at someone's chart and you're like, oh, yeah, easy. That's not easy. Like, but I just think, you know, if she knew about all her placements, she would have so much compassion for herself, because she's actually doing so well considering how challenging all of these oppositions she has in these squares, you know?
Yeah.
Last thing,
she's doing very well. Go ahead.
With her Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house, because I have this placement, so I feel like I have experience in it. With her Pluto squaring that, I do feel that like she might suffer from like obsessing a little bit in relationships, you know, and getting obsessed with her partner. I don't have Pluto squaring my Black Moon Lilith. I don't think I do. Oh, I do actually, kind of, but not. It's not a tight square. Not like hers. Hers is exact. You know what I mean?
Matt is saying she's rating only murders in the building, which again,
she's so good at. I love that. I think is the 2nd season out soon, Matt. I love it. Matt will know this. He has Taurus placements. He will know. You know. It's so good.
Yeah, I think she's living her chart very well and I just love it.
And the orbs that Matt taught us have been so useful in reading Selena.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the conjunctions and the oppositions just have been amazing. Like
I think we should have a talk about Lilith itself. I think you have a very good background now on Lilith. I want to talk to you about that.
And actually the orb, I'm going to stop now. I promise I'll stop after this. The orb between Saturn and Lilith is 4 degrees. And I feel like Saturn and Lilith have prevented her from being a mom maybe as soon as she would like to be. And she's still very young, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, she's 30. How old is she?
I feel she's
31
to be a mom with that orb of 4 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm going
to the North Node in
the
5th house. I think this was amazing. We talked almost an hour. Wow.
So much to talk about. I have Jupiter in the 3rd house, so did nobody warn you?
No, that's good. That's why I have you here. That's the perfect thing. I want to thank everybody for their comments and contribution to this topic. Yeah. I think we're going to do it again. I think everybody loves this.
Any comments didn't meet? I'm just going to scroll back and see. I think we
mentioned, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we did.
Oh, thank you guys, everyone. I want to thank everyone who came. I know a lot of my friends who aren't even into astrology joined just to. Oh, thanks, Nora.
Support you. That's nice.
Support me, and I really appreciate just you being here. So thanks, everyone. My first live.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was amazing. I love it. And we'll for sure do another one and the 3rd one and another one, because we have all this requests now. I want to do. Amazing.
Thank you, Georgiana. Thank you, Maura. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you all. Yeah, I want to thank again you, Caitriona, the most, and then everybody else. And thank you, Matt, for teaching us all this nice stuff.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Yes.
And talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, thanks, Christina. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.